Let's have a look at question 10. So this is clearly an integration by substitution question. So part A, use the substitution x equal to u squared plus 1 to show that this integral can be written in that form. So basically change the x in terms of u. And then part B, hence using algebraic integration to show that this integral is equal to ln a, where a is a rational number to be found. So that means, okay, so part A just a normal integration by substitutions, but we don't need to actually integrate it. We just want to change that in terms of u. And then part B, we need to actually integrate it to get the final answer. So let's get started. Part A, so x equal to u squared plus 1. So because this time we have limits, so the first step always change the limits first. So because the first expression is dx, so that means those two will be x value. And then the second one is du, so the limits has to be the u value. So we need to change the x value into u value first. So if x1 is equal to 10, so that means 10 is equal to u squared plus 1. So u squared equal to 9, that means u is equal to 3 if we square root it. And then if x2 is equal to 5, so that means 5 is equal to u squared plus 1. Then u squared is equal to 4, so u is equal to 2. So that would be the upper limit, and this would be the lower limit. And then we need to find what dx is. So differentiate the substitution, x equal to u squared plus 1. So dx over du is just equal to 2u. So that means dx equal to 2u du. So now I will change everything in terms of u step by step. So first, let me just write down the original expression first. So first step, I will change the limits, because as long as I change dx in terms of du, the limits will become u value. So I will change the limits first. So the limits before is 10, 5, so after should be 3 and 2. So top one will be 3, bottom one would be 2. And then 3 over x minus 1, 3 plus 2 root x minus 1, so the same. And I change dx in terms of du, so 2u du. So for me, my first step always change dx in terms of du. And if we have limits, we change the limits as well. So because quite often we can simplify some terms at the beginning once we change dx in terms of du. So if you change x in terms of u straight away at the beginning, so you might miss that. So it will make it more complicated. That's why for me, I change dx into du first and check if I can simplify anything. If not, I will continue to substitute the rest into u. But most of the time we can simplify it. So for this one, there isn't anything we can simplify. So we just continue. So about 3 times 2u is 6u. So I will change that into 6u first. And then for the rest of them, so we can start to simplify it. So because x equal to u squared plus 1, so if we rearrange that, x minus 1 has to be equal to u squared. So we can change that x minus 1 into u squared. And then square root of x minus 1. So if we square root this for both sides, then root x minus 1 is equal to u. So we can change root x minus 1 into u as well, and then du. So now we can check, can we simplify something? So top one we have u, and bottom one we also have u. So we can divide by u for both top and bottom. So u over u cancel out, and u squared over u just become u. So that would be 3, 2, and then 6 over u times by 3 plus 2u, and then du, which is what we need. So q in this case would be 3, and then p is equal to 2. Okay, and then part B. So part B, we need to actually integrate it. So, but for this one, which method should we use? So clearly it's a fraction. And in the denominator, there are 2 factors. So it's definitely partial fraction. So we're going to do the partial fraction first. So 6 over u times by 3 plus 2u. We can write this as some constant over u plus another constant over 3 plus 2u. So 6 has to be equal to a times by, make them the same denominator. The first one, we need another 3 plus 2u to get this. And in the second one, we need another u to get the same expression. So now we can let u equal to 0. So then 6 is equal to a times by, so just 3 left, because 2 times 0 is 0, plus 3 just 3. And then b times 0 just becomes 0. So therefore, a is just equal to. And then for the second one, you can let, so if this is equal to 0, then u should be minus 3 over 2. And if we substitute that in, so 6 is equal to, so the only reason we use u equal to negative 3 over 2, because we want this to be 0. So that will just be 0. You can ignore that. Then that's just negative 3 over 2 times by b. So b has to be equal to 6 times 2, 12, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. And that's a negative, so it has to be negative 4. So we can change that into integral 3 to, so 6 over u times 3 plus 2u now become, a is 2, so 2 over u, and then b is negative 4, so we can change that into minus 4 over 3 plus 2u, and then du. So integrate this, 2 over u is just 2 times by ln u, because 2 is just a coefficient, doesn't change. 1 over u integrate to ln u. And then for the second one, minus just minus, 4 is just 4. 1 over 3 plus 2u. So since the denominator is just a linear expression, just ln of 3 plus 2u. And then because it's a linear expression, we always divide by the coefficient of u. So then we divide by 2 once we integrate it. So we shouldn't put this one here. So then it just limits with 3 and 2. So simplify this, that would be 2 ln u minus 4 divided by 2 is just 2, and then 2 ln 3 plus 2u with the limits 3, 2. So now substitute the limits in, so that would be 2 ln 3 minus 2 ln 3 plus 2 times 3, so 2 times 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9. And then minus 2 ln 2 minus 2 ln 2 times 2 is 4, 4 plus 3 is 7. And now, because the final expression is just ln a with no coefficient at the front, so we need to bring the coefficients as a power. So that would be ln 3 squared 9 minus ln 9 squared, which is 81. And then minus ln 2 squared is 4, and then negative, negative make it positive, and then ln 7 squared, which is 49. So simplify this, we know for logarithms, if they have the same base, so if minus 2 logarithm, we can just divide by the numbers, and then when plus 2 logarithm with the same base, you can times the numbers. So I will do 9 times by 49 first. And then because those two is minus and minus, so I will divide by 81 and also 4. So 9 times by 49 divided by 81 and 4, that will be 49 over 36. So therefore, it's just ln of 49 over 6. So a is just 49 over 6, which is a rational number. So rational number is just a number which can be written as a fraction. So that will be our final answer.
Thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, you can leave some comment. And then if you find the video helpful, please like it and subscribe it. May the A star be with you.